Matt and Friends Drink the Universe is proudly sponsored by the Poppins Travel Company. Whether you're traveling across the universe like us or right here on planet Earth, it's always a good idea to have an expert to help you plan your trip. For your travel experts, look no further than the Poppins Travel Company. They'll help you book your next adventure or vacation, and the best part is they'll do your travel planning for free. To schedule a virtual appointment with one of their highly qualified travel agents, visit their website, www.poppinstravelcompany.com. That's www.poppinstravelcompany.com, or call them at 407-494-4070. That's 407-494-4070. Hello, listeners. We're all here to have fun.
But we'd like to take a moment to encourage you to always drink responsibly.
Never drink and drive.
If you have a complicated relationship with alcohol or other substances and you want to talk about it,
you can call 1-800-662-4357 for support.
Thank you for listening.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
Welcome to Matt and Friends Drink the Universe!
All right, everybody, welcome back to Matt and Friends Drink the Universe. We have no clever drop for this one, and that's okay. This is our original format, what we started out with episode 1, season 1. This is How Did We Get Beer? And just as a little reminder, this is the format where everybody brought a drink that has a story attached to it. We're going to go around the table. We're going to hear those stories. And also, if you remember episode 1, season 1, Matt flagrantly disregarded the rules. It does not have to actually be beer.
That's good. I didn't bring beer.
There you go.
someone
I'm not
else
alone.
followed the rules.
Yeah, right.
Spoiler alert, I did not bring beer either. Let's go around the table and introduce ourselves.
Oh, hey, it's Siobhan.
I'm Andy.
And Chris.
And I'm Matt. And Chris, you're going first for this one.
Yes.
All right. Last time you brought a beer that was either going to kill us or taste really good, and we landed on it tasted really great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That
exact-
was a good one.
Yeah,
Burton
indeed.
Batten, right? That we had
Indeed.
aged.
It's just fun to say. Burton Batten, Burton Batten, Burton Batten.
Oh, that was good, Matt.
This time I've brought another beer that just so happened to still be in my fridge, which was very advantageous for myself as I was planning for this podcast episode. Because it's from Kona Brewing, which, if you don't
So
know,
good.
is from Hawaii. They make a lot of really good beer. This one that I brought today is their Gold Cliff IPA. It's very, very nice beer. And so I pulled up their website, which talks about kind of the origin story of this beer. And they talk about the origin story being about Diver's Paradise, which is at the southern tip of Lanai. If you don't know, Lanai is a whole separate island in the chain of Hawaiian islands that not a lot of people go to, and we haven't been to Lanai
I don't
at
even
this
know
point.
if you can only get there by boat. I
Correct.
think.
You can only
Yeah.
get there by boat. There's no airport or anything like that. And there's just a lot of really natural stuff there. It's not like a tourist spot. So there is this kind of cliff that people used to way back in the day. There's a 70-foot jump that
Damn.
Hawaiians used to jump off of to prove their courage.
That
As
checks out.
Yeah.
exactly.
I would not be
and
good at
it's-
that.
It's like-
I'm not afraid of heights, but I don't know about
That's
that.
yeah.
It's also not
I'm
just
afraid of-
jumping off a 70-foot cliff. You're jumping through a keyhole
What?
into the water.
I'm afraid of
What?
broken
I'm sure there's a
legs.
video of this.
So it sounds absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And you can still
Nope.
see, like, it still is there today. There's still this area where you can see people, like, fearlessly dive off a cliff, which is absolutely crazy. So anyway, that's all to link to what recently, this past summer, Siobhan and I celebrated our 10th anniversary.
Woo.
And so
Congratulations.
we,
Congratulations.
on
Andy was
our...
there.
I
Yes,
was.
Andy did come on our honeymoon.
Twist my arm into going
Yeah,
into
right.
That's
Hawaii.
right.
On our honeymoon, Siobhan and I did a awesome 2-week honeymoon in Hawaii. And while we were sipping drinks in Hawaii that honeymoon, we decided, in 10 years, no matter what, come hell or high water, we're coming back here. And we made it happen. And not only did
Very
we
cool.
get to make it happen, we got to do it with a bunch of friends
That's
and
right.
family.
Yep.
So I brought this beer today to kind of harken back to that awesome summer we just had and tell a little story about it. But before I tell that story, let me crack this sucker open.
So, and you renewed your wedding vows. Is that spoiler alert or no?
Well, that's what we did.
No, it already happened. It's not spoiler.
So,
Yeah,
Siobhan,
no, 10
you
years.
agreed to do it again.
I
So,
did.
they say like the biggest thing when purchasing a product or getting involved with something is, would you do it again? You
I
did.
would.
So there's
Aw.
Chris's 5-star Yelp review.
Yeah, he gets 5 stars. It was good. We wrote our own vows for the vow renewal because we did not get to do that at our actual wedding because we had a Catholic wedding where notoriously you are not able to write your own vows at those. You typically just pick some and you have them as part of the mass. But I was determined that we write our own vows, and
Yep.
he wrote them that morning
Yeah.
after returning from a hefty hike. That I was
Oh, that was
hopeful
great.
that he would come back to the ceremony from
Yeah.
That was great.
hangover style.
I almost forgot about that. We
Well, that's why
hiked-
we're
We
here.
got up early in the morning,
Yep.
hiked up this massive hike,
Yep.
Beautiful.
which was great.
Amazing.
And we got up to the top, and we were literally in the clouds. We couldn't see a fucking thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got up really early because, again, this is on the day of the vow renewal
Right.
that we're doing, which was,
Had a little gathering the night before.
Yep.
Everybody come over to the cool place we had rented.
had a good amount of drinks.
Yep. Definitely
No.
drinking.
So in the first place, we woke up. I mean, at least I woke up a little hungover, like nothing
I
crazy.
didn't. I was fine.
It was good.
We had planned this ahead of time. Rob and his wife Dorothy and Andy and his wife Rachel all came in the night before.
Mhm.
They just arrived because they were doing their own kind of tour of Hawaii.
Yeah, we had already spent a couple days on the Big Island.
Big Island, yeah.
And
We were on Kauai, to be fair. I don't know if we mentioned that.
Oh, yeah,
but-
yeah.
Right.
This is
Kauai.
all taking place on Kauai, yep.
we had spent a couple days on the Big Island because we really wanted to hit volcanoes.
Yes.
Yeah, Volcanoes
National
National
Park.
Park there, which was amazing, absolutely amazing. So we had
Yeah.
already done a lot of hiking.
Yeah. So they came in the night
Chris
before.
had not.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
I've been
Oh, boy.
loafing it
We
around,
were there for a day so far, I think.
doing a beach thing.
Actually, no, it was that
No,
day.
2
we
days.
arrived in Kauai
In
the day
Kauai,
that
we
we
did, yeah.
had the gathering party, and then
Yeah.
the next day was the renewal.
And next morning, we decided we're going to go on a hike. So we got up real early and had to make like about an hour's drive. It was like a 45-minute drive all the way up to the trailhead. And this is in Waimea Canyon, or
Outside
just
of it,
north
yeah.
of Waimea Canyon, which is the Grand Canyon of Hawaii. And it is
Gorgeous.
pretty gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
It's a
there's
gorgeous
what's
gorge.
Rich.
Indeed.
It has a bunch of different places you can see it from, just like the Grand Canyon, obviously, but which makes it really nice, And then if you keep going up the road, which is this windy road, and there's like giant potholes that will swallow your car if you hit them the wrong way, which was really fun in a rental car. Eventually, you end up at the Paihia trailhead, which is the trail we did the hike on. And what's really cool is you kind of park in this parking lot, and then you kind of not climb up, but like you go up a pathway that's a pretty steep pathway.
Steep,
to-
but pretty easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was still paved at that point, right?
Yeah.
With a railing and everything.
Yeah.
And you get to a lookout where you're supposed to be able to look out over this crazy open
The Nepal, part of the Nepali,
Nepali coast, look at the Nepali coast. But because it's so early, it's just clouds.
Just
We are
clouds.
walking through clouds,
Yep.
so we can barely see anything. So we're like, all right, don't bother about the look. Let's just start hiking. So we hike down and up and in and out.
It was
and
it was a
it was
it got
Intense.
rough. It
it
got
was
rough.
more than
Sounding.
any of us really expected
Yeah.
it to be. Through mud. There were parts of the trail that were completely foot deep mud that
Yep.
you couldn't walk through. So we had to like climb along tree roots and,
Yep.
and up and down. Super fun.
It was
hike.
fun. I wiped out at least 3 times.
Damn.
Yep. We were all muddy by the end.
Yeah.
And the end of the trail we got to, it was still a little bit cloudy, but we could kind of see into the Nepali coast, which was really cool. We have some great
Nice.
photos. And then as we started to hike back, that's when the sun started to come out and burn off the clouds. And as we were getting all the way back to the beginning, we finally were able to start looking out through some of the really great views.
Beautiful view of this like one little bay.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. Rachel's actually making a painting of it.
Oh,
Love
that's
that.
She,
Very
I
cool.
she
can't
hasn't
wait for
finished
that.
it yet. It was supposed to be my Christmas present. It didn't happen.
yeah, sure.
But yeah, she's working on a painting of it.
And
Gorgeous.
so to wrap up the story, which it was such a fun day, I was absolutely wiped. Siobhan was mad at me.
Oh, I don't think I was mad.
You were mad at me.
Was
It's
I?
fine. Like not like pissed at me or anything.
No,
but like
I just felt. I mean,
Slightly irked.
Sure, maybe I was a little. I don't know if I was mad though. I think I was just bummed because I was like, well, we're supposed to have a party now. And like, I don't want you to
Are you
feel
gonna
like
be okay?
you're,
Yes.
like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want you to feel
That's what I'm
like
saying.
you were like dead to the
Yeah.
world at this
Yeah.
party.
So
and I
I
was
got
like,
back
ugh.
and I took a nap for like an hour or two or whatever. And then we were staying at this really cool resort that was like right on a beach. It wasn't like
So
what you would
beautiful.
think of as a normal beach, but it was just
Waimea
our
Plantation
own,
Cottages.
Yeah.
Shout out.
yeah,
Coolest place
our
ever.
own little beach area. And so I took a chair and I kind of drug it out into the middle of nowhere and I put my headphones on. And so for like a half an hour, I just sat there with this gorgeous view of the ocean and wrote my vows,
Nice.
my renewal vows there. So it was just such a really peaceful day for me, even though
Yeah.
I was like dead tired from this hike.
But what
it,
a
like,
cool experience.
Gave me
It
like
was.
a really fun clarity to be able to write those vows. So it was a really, really special day for me with an amazing experience.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
So this beer, super tropically,
Yep.
it's got
It's lovely.
pineapple.
It's good stuff.
Very good.
Super light, and
a
brought
good-
it to share with everyone.
We did go to Kona Brewing while we were down there.
I'm jealous.
And
We
yeah,
got to do that our first time. We
On
didn't
our
do
honeymoon.
this past
Yeah, I
time.
remember you talking about that.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
I love Kona, like the Big Wave,
Yeah.
and the
Yep.
other ones. They're
their
just
beers are
great
all
beer.
good. So
Oh,
good.
yeah.
The
Big- Big
Cocoa
Wave is so
Brown,
good.
best beer, hands down.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah?
It is like
So
my
good.
number one beer. It's just so good. I could drink it any time of the year. Rich coconut, chocolate, wonderful beer. So shout out to Kona.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for great experiences.
We had such a great time down there. You know, we kind of did island hopping because we really wanted to hit the national parks and stuff like that. And we ended up our last day down there, we were on Maui. And like literally
Oh,
the
yeah,
next day,
you
the
guys.
fire started.
Right.
Like
Oh,
we
wow.
It was-
literally flew out of Maui,
Yep.
and the next day I'm getting text messages of like, are you still down
And that
there?
was when we left too. And
Yeah.
we were getting texts too while we were flying. And people were
It was-
like, is everything
it was
safe?
crazy.
It is crazy.
And like I don't think so. Like on the news around here, people talked about like people were jumping into the ocean to get away from
Right.
the fires and
Yeah.
stuff, and like we think of that as like the Atlantic Ocean by Jersey, which it's just like
right. It's a
you-
beach.
You walk
No,
out like
this
half
is
a
cliffs.
mile and you're
Yeah.
still, only in 6 feet of water. But like in Maui, it is surf that breaks
Oh, yeah.
by the road.
Yeah.
Like people surf literally up to the highway.
Yeah.
It's insane. So like jumping into the water there, like that's a whole different world than what we think about. But it's a great experience. Would absolutely go back again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
We did. And I will do it again.
10 more years.
Mhm.
10 more years?
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Were your
Here
vows,
for it.
Siobhan?
Who should we talk to?
I'm a little
to,
out of
book
breath.
that?
No.
Who should we talk to book that?
Oh, yeah. Who should we
trip
talk to
down to
book the
Hawaii in 10
Hawaii
years?
trip?
Poppins Travel would be happy to book your trip to
Oh.
Hawaii for you. Reach out. There are links just down below the podcast description. Click on that, visit their website, schedule an appointment with one of their qualified travel experts, and they will get you wherever you want to go on the planet. And knowing John, as soon as he can figure out trips to Mars, he'll do that as well.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good segue.
All right. Are we moving over?
Yes, we are staying in the beer world.
Are you going to
Um,
tell us about some place in Hawaii you almost drowned again this time?
No, we're not going to
Okay.
talk. It is going to be a traumatic experience for Siobhan, which seems to be
A theme.
the theme for
Yeah.
sharing stories, which I know everyone's like, great. So
Little bit
do
of
you have happy
beer
times?
therapy here.
Welcome
You
to
know?
Therapy Corner with Matt and Friends Drink
Yep.
the Universe. Feel
Yep.
free to get your catharsis.
Indeed. Well, what I
It's
will
a can of
first-
catharsis.
I will first tell you about the beer that I brought, which is from Tired Hands, which is a somewhat local brewery.
Is it? Where's that?
Ardmore,
Philly.
Oh,
outside
okay.
of Philly.
Philly-ish.
Yep. Not Lehigh Valley, but like local in that, you know.
Localish.
Yes, it's not Kona from
Right.
Hawaii, which could not be farther maybe from where we are. It is called Hive Mind, which it's a double IPA, which Chris and I are on the IPA train with bringing them here. Double IPA with honey, and there's a big old bee on the front,
Love it.
and he's
Cthulhu bee
looking
there.
It's like a
little
mutant
scary.
bee, by the way. He's
yeah,
like,
he has
Yeah,
like
man.
creepy devil
Slash
wings.
The H.P.
That.
Lovecraft
That-
bee there.
that-
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
Indeed.
That
Bees-
guy once crawled down a marching band uniform I had on and stung me under
No,
the
thank
suspender.
you. Well, that's what we're all here for today, is to hear about all the bee sting stories that I have dealt with in my
Oh,
life,
no.
of which I have 3, and they are
Okay.
not that long. I hate it. Hate all of you.
as
Do not
as
enjoy.
Siobhan's pouring this beer, I didn't tell you, Siobhan, that the other day driving home, there was a yellow jacket in the Prius.
Oh no.
My whole face just fell.
no.
As I'm driving from
When I tell you my nightmare.
from Lowe's
Fully
to
my nightmare.
rehearsal, I look over at the passenger window, and there's just a yellow jacket there, and I was like,
Nope.
No.
I'd literally drive your
So-
car into a ditch
I know,
and
I
get out
know.
of it. There's
So I
no
took-
way, you guys.
We have insurance.
Especially yellow jackets.
I took
Yo, fuck a
my
wasp.
sunglasses case, which is like a hard glasses case. I deleted that mofo.
I'm so glad.
It was
oh my
a
God.
giant puddle of nothingness
This is just gonna be
anymore.
like we should just all tell bee stories at this
I've got
point.
one.
Oh my God.
Oh, I got
Wait,
one
no,
too.
So this is my first of all, this
Go
is
ahead.
peak Siobhan because I come with stories and then I tell other people to tell stories because I am a connector in that way.
Terrified.
But I am
Bees.
so afraid of bees. And before
Oh, this smells so good,
It
by
does
the way.
smell good.
Sorry.
all the bee
love the
activists
smell.
come for me, okay? Because I don't know who they are, but like
Beativists.
my
which is
wife.
fine. Yes, you're right. It is Rachel. I do not have an issue with especially pollinators, good bees, honey
tastes good.
bees,
Yeah, it does.
Bees
I don't like the
that
smell, but
are-
it tastes good.
bees that are here to help our gardens grow and the ecology and ecosystems thrive, right? I'm here for that. Get the fuck out of
Leave
my
me alone.
face, okay? And a wasp, burn it down. Kill all of their families, their lineage. Fuck them, okay? I do
Shame
not
on
need to see
you.
a wasp
Shame
ever.
on your cow.
Holy shit, shame on all of your family. I hate it, okay? So I've been stung. This is the funny part because I'm not allergic that I know of, which now I'm convinced
not.
that I am.
You're
She's not.
No, I'm convinced that I am as an adult because I have not been stung in at least 20 years.
Fun fact. Fun
It's
fact. I just learned this. If you get stung by a bee and you taste banana,
You're allergic?
that's a sign of an allergic reaction about to happen.
Well,
Wait,
now
like
I'm
after
gonna
you're
be
stung,
really
all of a
stung,
sudden
it's
start
used
to
all of a
taste
sudden, like-
banana?
Whoa, bee facts.
Yeah.
Weird.
Hashtag bee facts.
Also, if
Okay.
you get stung and stop breathing, that's also
Right.
very
good sign.
indicator.
Also, right.
I
If
mean,
you
it's a bad
start-
sign, but
if you start to, if you need an EpiPen, you might be allergic to bees.
Yeah.
Right. So I have been stung 3 times that I can recall, which I'm assuming is only 3 times because I would probably recall them all instead of trauma dumping them because I might assume that I would do that, but who knows. So the 3 that I remember, 2 of them happened in a different state and another country, and the other one was in Connecticut where I grew up. So I'll go in order of horrific, traumatic experiences, and then others can tell bee stories. Third of the 3, stepped on a bee when I was at my aunt's house. Stepped on a bee. Had a bee sting on my foot. That sucked, right? That sucks because you don't
Yeah,
know
you're
you're
not
going to do
expecting
it.
Yeah.
Sure.
It stings. I will also say all of these, I was like a young child.
Mhm.
Like I was probably, I know the first one I was only 6, but so I was always young. So it was always very dramatic, right? Because when you're younger, even now, I mean, let's be real about how it would be now if I got stung by a bee. It would end my life. So second, in Colorado, visiting family friends in Colorado, had a hornet that got stuck in my hair.
Worst. That sounds terrible.
And just so you know,
Good reason to
because
go bald right
at
there.
God.
least-
Right.
yeah,
I'm gonna go
well,
shave my
everybody
head.
around this table, I'm telling a hair story that no one can identify with, but that's okay.
I used to have hair.
Yeah, me too.
Hornets. So, like when they sting you, that's the other thing about bees. For those who don't know, which is probably nobody, but that's fine. Bees who are honeybees, obviously, if they sting you, it is because they are trying to protect their hive, and they will potentially lose their life from stinging you, which does make me feel mildly sad. Hornets and wasps,
That's
they
too
don't
much
give
compassion.
a fuck, okay? They will sting you forever, okay? So
Yep.
I got stung
Mhm.
3
They bite you.
times, 3
Ugh.
times in my head from that hornet getting stuck in my hair. Horrific,
Yikes.
okay? And then the worst one, which is just because of the way that it happened.
I love
okay?
watching your hands get
Yep,
like,
I
I'm
know.
ho- I'm
More
so,
and more,
I'm
like,
so uncomfortable even telling. I've
uncomfortable.
chosen to tell these stories, but it is such. So when I was in Ireland as a 6-year-old, okay, and you're like, are there bees in Ireland? There are.
St. Patrick didn't take care of those too.
He sure didn't. Just the snakes, and I never saw a snake.
Nope.
Dammed
so
up
he did
water with
pretty well
bread,
on
but he
that
couldn't
one.
do the bees.
So I remember this. I remember we had a rental car. It was my parents and my aunt who came on this trip to Ireland with me in August of 1989 when I was 6 years old. And I remember being in the backseat of the car, and I remember being like restless because I'm 6 and I'm moving around. And I remember sitting back down in the car on a bee. and I got
Nice.
stung in the ass cheek in the back of the car.
Son of a bee.
No.
And I literally was like, ah, like I started screaming. My mother's
Sure.
like, oh, and of course they're driving. So they're like freaking out because
Sure.
they're like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got stung by a bee. I sat on a bee. My mom's like, you're fine. And I'm like, I'm not fine. I sat on a bee. And we had to go to like the chemist in Ireland, which is basically a pharmacy,
Okay.
to get cream because I thankfully was not allergic.
Butt
Didn't
cream.
taste the banana, but I needed the butt cream for the sting that I got from the freaking bee.
Well, thank God you survived.
I know.
Was your aunt's name Beatrice?
It was not,
No.
sadly.
No.
It was Evelyn, which has nothing to
Okay.
do with bees, but
No.
still, just bee stories. Bee stories. We all have them.
I
do.
empathize greatly. At my parents' house in Palmer, when they still lived there, I stepped on, if you remember that, it was one of those kind of older style carpets where the colors kind of ran together. It was like a brown with like black
Mhm,
speckles and like that kind of thing, which does not help the color blind.
Nope.
I stepped on a wasp
Two of them are- no.
and he got me like 2 or 3 times in the foot. I fell over. Now, he also suffered Matt to the head. So he was kind of limping, and I just,
Limping.
the last thing he saw was my angry fist come down on him, and I was like, I don't care if I don't care if he stings my hand, he's going to die. And then I laid around with peanut butter on my foot because the stinger was stuck in there. So
Peanut butter?
Oh, no.
That's a new
Does
one.
Is
peanut
that a
butter help?
thing?
yeah, that was the thing.
Does-
Like peanut butter helped get the stinger out.
Is that-
Weird.
Is that
Ow.
like peeing on your foot when you get a jellyfish?
Jellyfish?
I don't-
Well, that's
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, neither have I.
Stepmother Robin, she wanted me to put peanut butter on the foot, so I had peanut. Maybe she
Maybe
was just
she's
doing
just
that to
making
screw with
fun of
me.
you.
I don't know,
Yeah,
but there's
that'd be
Yep.
hilarious.
Or it was like oh, you're fine. Here, just if you put peanut butter on your foot, it gets the stingers out.
Exactly.
It's the Peter Griffin thing where she
Right.
just looks around the room and if you put peanut butter on your foot,
That's right.
it's worth mentioning. I was college age at that point. It wasn't like I was
Oh,
10
even
years old.
better.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Even
yeah,
better.
Yeah. Well,
I-
that makes me think of the time that Chris had to kill a wasp in our old house because
how many times?
Oh, I
Like
mean the
42
one that
times.
I sure, but the
No,
one
which
that I
one are you
remember
talking about? Yep.
because it was in our bedroom and we had
Uh-huh.
blinds, like mini blinds in our
Yeah.
bedroom, and it had gotten into our room, and I literally walked in the room and I heard like from the blind, and I went nope,
Nope.
and I closed the door. Well, I got the cat. I got the cat because I was so scared the cat would like go after it.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
And I'm like no. So I grabbed the cat and then I literally slammed the door. Nobody else is in the room. I slammed the door. And I go down and I tell Chris, you got to go take care of this
This
wasp
is your
in the
problem
room.
now.
Yep. And I remember,
If you want this room again,
was that the time you broke the lamp on the fan? Okay. Because
we have so many bee
we
stories.
do.
It's
They follow
hilarious.
my ass around, let me tell you. But he had to hit that wasp.
No, the
that
one
wasp
time-
was like made of body armor. Like, it
No.
was
That time I
truly-
trapped. That's the bee we trapped in the window.
Oh, God.
I got
God.
him to crawl out the window, and so slammed the window on him.
And then he went-
lived for 4 or 5 days.
Yep.
In the
Jesus.
window.
In the window.
Like between the screen and the window.
Didn't we spray him with something at one point?
No. I just
Oh.
let him
Oh
suffer
my God, good.
to death.
You wouldn't think,
Yeah.
like, they're so tiny. You would think, and they're like,
well, they don't
the
have to
speed
eat that long.
But that's the thing, the
still.
speed of the wings, like, you would think that would require them to eat
Yeah.
more often.
No.
And then the other one is, yes, in my office.
Ugh.
So we had a
That's right. It
fan
was in your
the office with a single light, and we were playing games together, like probably Heroes of the Storm or something in the
Video
office.
games.
There's a callback.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
we played
She
the heck
freaks
out,
out
of that.
because she sees a bee in the room, runs like her hair's on fire.
Right,
I'm like, what
correct.
the
Which it basically is.
And then I see there's a bee flying around the room. So I'm like trying to get it to land on something to kill it. It finally lands on the light on the fan. And I took a flip flop.
Peace out. We can buy a new light.
Not only deleted the bee, but deleted that light
Shattered.
all
Literally
over my
shattered.
office.
Yep. And
Perfect.
I remember being like, I don't think that was my goal. Like, that was not, you should not
I
have broken property. But here we are.
I will delete your bees.
So
Yeah,
we
you
used to
will.
have, and this just popped in my head. We used to have the cicada killers here in my backyard.
Oh, those things are
horrifying.
That's
horrifying.
part of the
Like,
reason.
they'll leave you alone, but they're freaking scary
They're
looking.
terrifying.
They, so
They're so
we had a
big.
queen, and when she would fly by, if you were out back, it was like a low flying 747
Sure.
past your head. So
They're so loud.
that is part of the reason I have that concrete patio. My solution to that was I'm going to drop 20 tons of concrete on your nest, and we're just going to get rid of it. I watched Jen kill one of those with an electrified bug racket. She literally held it against the side of it. It was the most evil look I've ever seen in my wife. Like, she just held it up there and let it go for 30 seconds while that thing died.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I'm never screwing with this woman ever again.
Oh,
like,
good.
it was
Absolutely hilarious.
So
Killing bees, favorite pastime.
Oh my God.
My-
No, it was wasps that
my
were really
bee
tough.
story. So, as we're going to talk about in a bit, I'm in the army band, and one of the army bands, and I was doing a ceremony, and I was playing trombone at the time. So I'm standing there. This is an outdoor ceremony, so we're standing. You're at attention pretty much the whole time, and it's time for us to play. And I bring my trombone up.
Oh no!
And I
no,
hear-
no, no, no,
I-
no, no, no!
Oh yes,
No,
this is going
no.
exactly where
I
you
hate
think
it.
it is.
No.
I hate it.
I feel something against my lips. A bee had landed in my mouthpiece, or some kind of flying insect. But so as I brought it up to buzz, it's flapping its wings literally against my face.
Blech.
So
Yikes.
obviously, like, I flinch away and pull the mouthpiece away, and I guess it flew off.
Okay, good.
But like, I
Nope.
thought I was going to
Nope.
be stung on the damn lips before I was about to not
When
only
I tell
play but
you-
march across the field.
Yeah, life flash
In
before your
summertime,
eyes.
Oh
if I
my
have
God.
a can of something, I shake it all the time to see if I'm going to hear
Oh,
buzzing
oh,
before
yeah,
I drink
absolutely.
it every summer.
No, I can't
Yikes.
imagine what my reaction would have been if that thing would have
Actually stung you.
actually stung me
Yeah, that
on
would
the
have been
lip.
terrible.
Ugh. See, that's what I'm saying.
One last very quick story. I was
Brings us all together.
weed whacking, trimming.
Oh no!
Never a good start
This
to a
is
story.
This
No.
is the
So I
hive
just-
in the ground
Just
that
cut
we've
the
had.
grass, and so finishing up with a good old weed whacking, and we have what's called a dog run in our yard. So it's basically just a small pen area that you would be able to put a dog in. And so I'm trimming this, and unbeknownst to me, a colony of wasps decided
Lives under it.
to live under
Oh.
that, and I hit that area.
Mhm.
They were not happy about that, and a wasp the size of
Mothra.
sure, couldn't think of anything better.
Almost
So
cicada
yes,
killer size.
latched onto my leg, bit me.
Ooh!
I had to pull it off of my leg.
no.
Oh, no.
Ugh.
With it, a chunk of my flesh
Oh my
went.
God.
Oh my God.
Ah.
I
Ooh, I'm
had
so
to
uncomfortable.
run. I just like I yeeted the weed whacker first, and then slapped at my leg, which did not help. So then I had to pull it off and
my God.
run for
Like
the house.
full unlatched.
Yeah,
Wow.
and
I'm lightheaded.
I had a crater in my leg
He did.
flesh.
I remember that.
that it
See,
ripped off.
one of those cicada killers. I also had a weed whacker when it flew by. I didn't eat the weed whacker. No, I went Tuscan Raider. That thing went up.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't help, but it makes you feel better
Dude,
in the moment.
we called like the exterminator right after that happened.
Be Mageddon.
Yeah, and the guy had
So
to put
good.
a bee suit on and like come and do the whole thing,
Yeah.
and he had to put powder in it. I didn't leave the house for
Sure.
like 3 days
Yeah.
to go out in the backyard because
video-
we have a video of them
Yeah.
leaving the nest, and when I tell you there are tens upon 20s of wasps
Yeah.
going in and out of that nest
More. Yeah.
Ooh.
in the ground, horrifying.
Yeah, yeah.
Like just, and then they came back the next summer and we did it again, and now
Wow.
Yeah.
we have yet to see.
I
Knock
filled
on
in the
wood.
hole the second year.
we think we're
with
good
dirt.
now because I think last year we were fine.
It's been 2
But-
years.
I can recommend dropping 20 tons of concrete on top of them. It's an
God,
effective
I
solution.
just-
See, I knew we had the right exterminator when the guy showed up, and one of those big ass cicada killers flew by, and he goes, "Big," and he pumped his thing a couple times. He goes, "They die too." And
Okay, there you go.
I was like, "All right, we got the right guy
Oh,
here."
Man, well, I'm glad I could bring us all together
Good
with
times,
some
yeah.
bee wasp stories.
Bonding over our
Yep.
hatred of.
Connects us
Hive
all.
mind. It
Drop your worst bee story in the comments.
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
really.
right?
I'm
Love
sure there's
to-
some
about
crazy
your
love
ones.
to hear your
story.
trauma
don't,
dumping
don't
along
tell us
with
that
us.
you're
Yeah.
killing good pollinators, though, because I will stand up for that. I do enjoy it. Bees are obviously helpful for all of
I'm
our
obsessed
ecology.
Absolutely.
with the
Like-
Instagram and TikTok videos of like bee rescue people.
relocators.
Yeah,
They're
it's
pretty
crazy.
No.
sick.
Heroes.
No,
It's
I know.
crazy.
No.
I will say, as someone who is not a fan of bees, I still love the activism behind it. And like, I will
Yep.
watch some of those. I don't want to gloss over. This beer is very good.
It
It's
is
very good.
It is.
Yes.
I
Don't
already
wanna-
killed mine.
It is
Yeah, killed it.
beautiful.
It is beautiful. BEA
Oh
beautiful.
my God.
Is there any
Full
more?
circle.
Good job.
Is there any
Yeah.
more? In there?
Yeah.
Take a little.
No, it's
See,
delicious.
you guys like the bee rescue. I like to watch the one. I can't remember the dude's name, but he likes to get stung and bit by different stuff just to tell you how much it
Oh,
hurts.
I know.
That
I know who you're
man.
talking about. That
Yeah.
What the shit is that?
He got stung by one of those murder hornets. He got bit by
No.
a
The
bullet
murder
ant.
hornets don't really actually
I thought they
sting
don't
that
even
bad.
sting.
They do, but like they don't. That's
Just
not
kill the
actually
bees
an
or
actual
cut
thing
their
for them
heads
to
off or
use.
whatever
Yeah.
horrifying thing they do.
It was
Well, like
the bullet
this
ant one.
dude-
Like
yeah, this dude will like taunt scorpions and shit
Yeah.
into
No,
actually.
bro.
Yeah,
I've seen that stuff.
nope,
Yeah.
no.
Get out of here.
Dude, bullet ants.
there's got
no,
to be a better way to
Thank
make.
you. I've
No,
heard that's the
guys.
worst thing ever.
So when I was in basic
Talk
training,
to Steve-O.
when I was in basic training, as we were doing our final March field experience, we every once in a while they would shout out amber, which meant get down, get into a fighting position, right? So we're marching along this road. They would shout out amber. You'd toss your pack down, you get down behind it in a fighting position, and the dude literally like two guys down from me. Ow, ow, what the ow? Well, it's South Carolina. He laid down
Bro,
in a
and
fire
fire
ant.
ants.
Oh
No.
no!
And he was swarming with fire ants. So
Yeah.
like literally we ripped his clothes off of him. We're all pouring our canteens of water over him
Yep.
Oh my
to get him off.
God.
And like he just had freaking welts all over.
Yeah.
I know you're not supposed to leave a man behind, but in that particular scenario,
Later.
No,
I
we
also
took care
love
of
a
him. We took
spider.
care of him.
All right.
Well, I'm out of bee beer
Third.
here. So
Yeah.
who's next? Matt, is
You.
it you or is it me?
you want me to go next, and you can go. I feel like you should close the show here.
Oh,
Up.
that's a lot of pressure. But go ahead, Matt. What you got?
All right. So what I brought today is a mudslide, but it is a mudslide recipe that is very special to me. We talked about tropical islands earlier and nuptials and things like that. So this recipe is very special to me. This is the mudslide recipe from Rum Point in the Cayman Islands. And when Jen and I got married, we had our honeymoon in the Cayman Islands, and we were there for a solid week, and it was a wonderful experience overall. We stayed at a place called Moritz. They actually had a barracuda off the end of the bar, so at the end of the night, when you got done eating or whatever, they kind of just chuck your food in the water. You see like 6 or 7 barracuda come up and just completely
pretty
devour.
sick.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was really cool. But the original mudslide came from Rum Point in the Cayman Islands, and the mudslide that some of you might be used to will have ice cream in it. It will have heavy cream in it. It'll have a lot of different things. The original recipe does not have any of that. It is vodka, Kahlua, Bailey's Irish cream over a crap ton of ice with a little cinnamon on the top, and in the straw is a floater of Kahlua. So that first sip you take is going to be pretty much, I didn't do a full straw, you're supposed to, but you will get a shot of Kahlua, and then you'll get the rest of the taste.
All right.
Alrighty.
Here's to that. Cheers. I'll
Delish.
say,
Chocolate milk.
I don't think I've ever had a mudslide before. This is delicious.
Just what I expected.
This is absolutely, yep.
Did I get
Push the
any
button.
cinnamon?
I don't want to admit that I like this.
Yep. Hit the button.
Stellar sip.
Damn it, Matt.
I will say I might taste banana, so I wonder if I'm allergic to bees.
I'm not going to.
But-
This is exactly what I would want if I'm sitting on a beach
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
in
Hot day on the beach.
the, right?
Yeah.
And it's this cold. It's got to be this
This
cold.
cold, hot day on the beach.
Oh,
You're going to get
Sign
this
me
at
up.
the next cruise.
yeah.
The story that I wanted to tell was that the Cayman Islands is a left-hand drive country, which people
Right.
might not know. And in my infinite wisdom, now most of you here know
Infinite.
my automotive
Especially about
history.
albums.
Infinite of zero.
So
Not a whole lot.
those of you that knew me as a teenager through, let's say, age 25, when my car insurance rates were very high, I did not have, let's say, a very safe driving history up until about 25. And I decided to rent this car and drive in a left-hand drive country, which was a bit of an adventure. And the way that the Grand Cayman is shaped is rather interesting because it's kind of a U shape, and you can't go between the top portions of the U. So if you need to go to one side of the island to the other,
You have to
go all
drive
the
all the
way
way around.
you have to go all the way. And it's about 45-minute drive. Like, it's
Isn't it-
not that far.
Isn't it like a big atoll or like it's all water,
Mhm.
like in that middle of that U?
Yeah.
We were just in the Cayman
Yeah.
Islands.
So everybody that has a really nice house lives on the right side of the U, and there are like boat taxis and things like that that go back and forth. But if you're a tourist and you want to go, say, to the very cool turtle farm to hold the little baby sea
Or
turtles,
stingray,
and
which is what we did.
so we did the sea turtle farm in the morning, and I think that was the day after we'd done swimming with dolphins, which is up on the wall. That's where that one picture's from. But the baby sea turtles that was the coolest thing, little flippers in the hand, and and then they had the fully grown ones that you could look down on. And you're like, okay, you're going to get a lot bigger when you're older.
Right.
It was super cool.
Massive.
But so our hotel was on the right side, drove the U up to the sea turtle, drove back past the hotel, and then we had dinner later that night up at the other end of the U. So I went back and forth across the island like 1.5 times, 2 times that day. And I did a really good job driving left hand, where my brain kicked in. And like the American showed, as soon as I got into a parking lot, the brain was like, default settings, you're on this side of the road now. And all the locals are honking at me, and I'm like swerving people. And it was like that scene from Euro Trip when they're in the bus and they're like yelling at you to get in the wrong lane. Like that's exactly what it was. But it was a beautiful island. That was a great adventure for that. We did that. We swam with stingrays that week. Yeah. And I really desperately want to. Jen and I are going to be married. It's 13 years this year for our 15th.
Do it.
Yeah. It'll be for our 15th. I would love to go back there. Or we got engaged in St. Martin, which was the other story that Jen got her wires crossed and we were laughing. She goes, "You remember what you did to me in St. Martin?" I'm like, we went snorkeling and there were sea urchins underneath. And we were swimming, and I pinched her butt. She swung at me fist first, like with a snorkel mask on, and I barely dodged it, but I totally deserved it just for screwing with her in the middle of the like. We weren't anywhere near land.
Chris
We were in
knows that
open
I'd be
water.
dead
Yeah, and they were big, like they were very large. But I'm glad you all enjoyed the mudslide.
Love it.
Delicious.
And if you ever get the chance, definitely have them in the Cayman Islands. Rum Point is a really cool bar. Also, I believe it's called The Wreck is the bar at Rum Point. There are multi-million-dollar houses to the left, and this really small bar that is like a shack with a dock that goes out probably 100 feet into the ocean, and that's where you do your booze cruises. So we did booze cruise from there. It's crazy because you walk to the end of that dock, and you can still see the bottom as clearly as you can when you're 2 feet. I mean, it's that kind of beach. But that bar is where the mudslide originated. I guess the story is some guy walked up and said, "I want a mudslide, or I want a White Russian," and they were out of milk. And the guy said, "Well, I'm just going to throw some Bailey's Irish Cream, put it over ice. We're going to see what happens." And the mudslide was born.
This is
it's really good.
Delish. Loving it.
Fun fact, you mentioned barracuda earlier. We learned when we were in the Cayman Islands, because we did a
2 months ago
stingray thing. The guys on the ship that were taking us out had just caught a barracuda, and they're famously known for being poisonous. And I don't remember if there was a biological, ecological reason for why some barracuda are and some barracuda are not poisonous.
Interesting.
I can't remember why. But the way they test for it is they will scoop up a handful of ants, and they will have the ants crawl over the barracuda, which they just naturally pick up all of the secretions,
oils and everything
from the barracuda as they're walking across it. And if the ants die, it's a poisonous barracuda. If the ants survive, you can eat it.
And if you what is it? If you eat it and it's poisonous, you lose all your teeth.
Yeah, your teeth will fall out.
That's what
there's
it does.
like
methamphetamine.
It will it will erode your heart, because your heart we lost Andy.
God, Andy's done. Oh, we killed him. You killed him. Oh no.
That was good.
Oh my God, you guys.
Yeah, there's
the barracudas that are caught in Florida.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The bath salt methamphetamine fish. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently they will also cause very severe heart conditions. And it's something that you won't notice for a few weeks, if not a month or two.
Scary.
But the guy was saying it eats your heart from the inside.
Yikes, bro.
Walter Whitefish.
Yeah. And so
I
it's
can keep doing this for a while.
All of a sudden, you'll have
barracuda.
a heart attack symptom and die.
He's
And
dead
people
again.
are like, okay, yeah, that guy ate a Andy is literally dying. Did you eat barracuda, Andy? It's
He's like,
okay.
I'm
Do
good.
I
you
was-
taste banana?
So I was
Real
thinking,
teeth
like,
still, I'm good.
combining stories. The next time, Andy, if you're with somebody and they happen to lay down on an anthill, you're just going to grab a barracuda and you
Absolutely.
get a primary test right
Yeah,
there.
right. And then they're like, well, it's poison. And the guy's like, that's cool. I'm still on the fire anthill, though. Like, can I get up now?
None of this has helped anything going on.
Nope.
This has not
Well,
helped
at least we
anything.
now know that barracuda is not poisonous. That's awesome, Matt. Thank you for this.
I think
This is
you
really good.
added a good amount of chocolate to this.
Yeah, it's a
So
good
I
balance.
Did I get cinnamon? I didn't get cinnamon.
No,
but it's
no.
fine.
He poured 4
All of it on yours.
tablespoons on his on
No.
his own.
He does have a lot.
And
I
then I
feel like it
told
would
him
be good with
not
that.
to kill the rest of us with the cinnamon challenge.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can make you another one later if you would like. I
That's
have,
like-
okay.
I definitely did the cinnamon challenge.
yeah.
I didn't realize what it was. I was working at Dairy Queen,
Oh no.
and one other person I was working with at Dairy Queen goes, "Hey, do you like cinnamon?" I'm like, "Of course,
Of course, who doesn't?
He's like,
Right.
"Here, take a spoonful of cinnamon."
oof.
Like,
And I did.
Sounds like a terrific idea.
And that's when we learned that when I throw up,
Everybody throws up.
no,
Oh.
I throw up so hard that I break blood vessels in
Oh,
my
no.
face
Yeah,
Oh,
like nose and
no.
eyes.
all over, like
Oh,
literally
like
all
skin?
over my entire face.
Oh no,
Blood-
that sucks.
Jesus.
Blood vessels broke everywhere in
Oh,
my face.
Dramatic.
Right, so I'm
Andy.
still in high school, right? So
They're like, oh, we killed Andy. Okay.
Right.
no. So I go home and there's like, I'm fine, right? I look like shit, but I'm fine. But my mom is like, "What the hell happened? What
I did
is wrong
the
with
cinnamon
you?"
challenge.
And of course, I'm not going to say like I did the cinnamon challenge. I forget what the hell I did, but I'm like, I don't know. I think I had a reaction to something. Blah blah blah.
That's a good excuse.
She made me go to the doctor.
Yeah, of course.
So I go to the doctor's office, right? And the doctor's like, "All right, so it says here you had like some kind of weird reaction to something." And I'm like, "All right, here's what happened."
I'm stupid.
Doctor starts cracking the hell up
Yep.
and goes, "Do you mind if I bring the interns in?"
Oh God.
And I'm like, "Absolutely," right? Because like, I'm scared of my parents, so I'm not going to tell them what happened. But like, other than that, like, I don't care. So all these interns come in, and the doctor's like, "All right, so this is a fascinating story. If you ever have this see this, like, here's what actually
Oh, my
happened."
God.
That's awesome.
You know, every last one of those interns is still telling
Still
that
telling
story to patients. Yeah.
I hope so.
The doctor thought it was the best thing.
So I have to ask the very first how did we get beer? I brought the mezcal. Have I redeemed myself?
Oh, for sure.
From the
1,000%.
I think you might have redeemed yourself from many things that
Yes.
you've done on this podcast with this drink.
There you go.
A
I-
plus.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
long
to
as there's
say,
no
well,
worm
sir, when I come
in this.
back, I'm expecting this.
Yeah, 100%.
Like,
As soon as my brain freeze wears off that I
know, right?
currently
I have
have
a
from
brain freeze
sucking down
too.
half of those
What a
right now.
bunch of wusses.
especially as we get closer to summer, like,
Oh
this,
yeah.
this
No,
better
we'll
be
do
prepared
those.
when I get here.
No, we'll,
This just makes me want summer more.
Mm.
You know, it's not warm
Yeah.
outside right now,
I know.
and I
Well,
No,
just want.
we can get an
It's
earthquake.
summer.
We're gonna get an eclipse, but we can't get a day over 60, and that's all I
know.
want.
Well, we
We're
did
getting- we're getting
As
like
close to
a
60
month
today.
ago,
that was
which doesn't
false
make any
spring.
sense.
It was the spring. I hate that ground. I'm gonna kill that groundhog.
Okay, well,
That is
poor
not
Phil.
that is not an actual threat against Punxsutawney Phil. Okay, I just want to be very clear on this.
just had a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Aw.
Yeah, we're gonna have
Punxsutawney family just had a
Phil
baby.
Jr. or
Oh,
Phyllis. I don't know
I don't
if it's
Phyllis?
a boy or a
No
girl.
idea.
Phyllis.
No judgment.
Officially pounded that
Mudslide.
mudslide.
Yo, I
Nice.
freaking killed it.
Pounded.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm scared for Andy's.
All right.
I'm very excited
So
for
to be
this.
fair, absolutely no idea what this is going to taste.
Hell yeah.
No, so scared.
All right. So what we're passing around the table here
Ugh.
is a bottle of Starkey, which is a Lithuanian Star
Sorry.
Kai. Starkai.
It's a
I know the
foreign
R's.
language.
It's a foreign language. I know this R is supposed to be slightly rolled, so Starkai, I think, is the correct pronunciation.
Now we've lost Siobhan.
It,
Hold on. We gotta wait for it. Just
No, you're
laugh.
fine.
Laugh it out. Laugh it out.
You're fine.
You don't want to hold that in.
No, I know.
It'll hurt
I'm gonna
later.
start crying. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Start.
I'm going to recommend Starkai. I'm going to recommend
that
a
was
fresh cut. That was
impressive.
good, right?
Yeah.
So I
I'm
did
so
study
scared.
Lithuanian. I'm gonna recommend a fresh cut.
I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, that was like a magic trick.
I'm not sure how I did that. All right, so this is a 43%.
Oh,
Fuck
Lord.
off.
So I'm
Okay.
going to recommend, at least to start, you go easy with this. I think this should be... You all right there?
Yeah,
Siobhan looks
Are you all right? That's
Siobhan
not
looks
what I'm doing.
concerned.
I think this should be similar to a brandy.
Oh, okay.
So if you go into it with that in
Did
mind...
you drink it already?
Ooh.
No. I might have with my nose.
It is a strong
This
smell.
is paint.
Thinner? Yeah, that's what that's what it makes me think of.
Oh. Does anyone have an
I
injury?
like-
We could absolutely cauterize your wound.
I like the
Right
stork
now.
on the label.
It's a great label.
The storka. Is that what it is?
Are we all going to sip this
Smell
together?
it. Everybody smell it.
Oh, well, it smells like that
Paint thinner.
that peanut butter whiskey.
What?
Yeah, no, it
it
does.
doesn't.
No, you're right.
It does.
I agree.
No,
Screwball. We all know
no,
what you're
no,
talking about.
Yeah.
no, not that. What's the super cheap stuff?
Huh?
What is there a style of liquor that this is or is it?
I
no
believe
idea what you said.
it's from a rye mash, so it should be similar to like a brandy or a rye
Okay,
whiskey.
you ready?
Peanut butter? Okay.
Hold on. It's a distilled alcoholic beverage made from fermented rye mash.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Great.
aged in oak barrels.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
we'll find out. I haven't
Here we
tried
go.
it yet.
All right.
One,
Cheers.
Wait,
two.
is there a cheers? A Lithuanian cheers?
Oh, it's ficata.
Fakata.
I- no,
It's
it's not.
ficata. It's ficata,
It's
which is
focaccia.
you're supposed to say it after you cheers
Oh,
Oh,
well,
shit.
shit.
because it's and now you. It's ficata.
Oh,
and
I
now
like
you.
that.
All right, well,
So-
it.
cheers from America because we
So,
do that before we drink. and
Lithuania's
then-
got a lot of weird traditions, and one of them, you cannot have one drink.
Okay, well,
You
challenge
must have at
accepted.
least
I'm on board.
two,
Challenge accepted.
I'm
because
here
if
for
you
this.
have
Really done
one drink, it's all going to go into one leg, and you'll be out of balance, and you'll fall over.
Fair enough. I love that for them. All right, we're doing it.
Here we
Cheers.
go. Oh,
It's not as strong as I was expecting. It's very warming,
It is.
like that after, like
oh, this is
like
winter.
almost like that bourbon hug.
Okay.
hold that face. Hold that face. Hold the face.
It burns a little too much.
Oh, I don't get the burn.
Ooh, no, yeah, I do, but it isn't. It doesn't last that long. I like literally swished it around my tongue, which might have been a
Okay.
mistake.
So this is
It's
If-
ficata.
It's fakata.
It's ficata. It's ficata.
It's fakakta. We fakakta. We're fall fucked.
Is it
So
ficata or facata?
It's ficata.
Facata.
it.
Okay.
It's ficata.
this
I
makes me
enjoyed
think
that.
of black velvet toasted caramel whiskey. It's like
oh,
Okay.
That's the thing that-
$6 a bottle,
Mm.
which should tell you everything you need to know. But that's what this tastes like. It just is. It's like sweet but whiskey at the same time.
That
So
wasn't
it's like-
bad at
Yeah.
all.
I
No.
like the sweet.
As an aperitif,
sweet
this
taste.
would be really nice.
I
you
just
know,
did the whole
just
thing.
like you
So
had a
it's
whole
gone.
meal, you've been drinking, and now this is afterwards. You're
Right.
having
Yeah.
a heavy cake or something, and this is what you drink with it.
So
yeah.
several people posted online that like they use this for like making fruit cakes.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
I could see
so
that
then-
in
yeah.
a reduction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, we should do that.
Um
Not really, but like,
No,
I could see
I'm
it.
not doing that. But
see
yeah.
that. but yeah.
Nice.
So last summer I spent time in Lithuania. So again, I'm a military musician, and we were over there for a military tattoo.
Thank you for your service.
It was a fantastic trip. I had an absolute blast. I learned a lot, but I decided, obviously, before coming back, I was going to grab at least one bottle. I grabbed
amen.
2 bottles of Lithuanian spirits. Over there, they like to drink what we would probably call tinctures,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like an alcohol over some kind of herb, right? And
Hmm.
like, you know, drink this one for an upset stomach, drink this one for a headache or whatever.
Drink this one for a shit day at work.
Yeah.
Right, sure.
Yeah, drink this one
Absolutely,
to
yeah.
obliterate all memories.
My big story from Lithuania with this is it wasn't specifically with this. I've literally never tasted this before. Right now, I bought it because it was Lithuanian spirit and brought it back with me. But while we were over there, at one point we had a party with some of the Lithuanians. okay, at a couple points we had parties with Lithuanians. And at the one party, I said to the one guy, hey, I'd love to try some of your more local, like what are your traditional drinks around here? And the big one is the Baltic porters, right? It's a Baltic state, so the Baltic porters,
Yep.
obvious.
Nice.
Yep.
Their Baltic porters were delicious. Strongly recommend.
Love it. Yeah.
But he started bringing out some of these, again, what we would call a tincture. And we tried this one and we were like, oh my God, this is delicious. All of us were like, this is like so smooth and so flavorful. And then finally we're like, can we see the bottle? Like, we're going to have to import this. What is this? Right? So he pulls out the bottle, and on the bottle is this big old pot leaf.
Hell yeah. Weed tincture.
It was a weed tincture.
Guess what?
Now-
you don't have to import that. We got it here.
Well, but as you probably know, military, we get random drug tests.
Oh,
So all of us who just took a couple drinks of this start to freaking panic of like,
well.
when is the next time we're probably going to get random tested? And we were all fine,
yeah,
but
right.
it wasn't enough in there to.
I'm sure the local Lithuanians who we were hanging out with gave us something. I'm really sorry. Might have
Right.
gotten it done
I got
in that
laced,
situation.
yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
But no, it was a great time. The trip over to Lithuania was fantastic. My other story from Lithuania.
The trip over?
No, the trip over was not great.
Oh yeah. Right.
Do not recommend flying on a
In
military.
Lithuania was great.
The time we
Don't-
spent there,
not the travel
there and back,
itself,
not good.
yeah.
Did you fly on a C-130?
KC-130, yeah, it was rough.
Is,
So,
is it true
His
that there
stories
are
are
no
awesome.
bathrooms on a
so
C-130?
there is,
Oh,
I mean,
well,
there's a
we've got
bucket.
pictures.
there is a bathroom. I do have a picture I could pull up, but for the dudes, when you have to take a leak, there's like this canister that you take a leak into.
They just open that hatch, strap you in, and say, go.
Yeah, I don't know. But if you have to drop a deuce or if you're a lady, there is a very shallow bottom toilet that is specifically marked for emergency use only.
Mhm.
And how long was that flight?
It was, I want to say it was 9 hours there, 10 hours coming back, because coming back you're against the jet stream.
Yep.
So 9 hours there. The floor of the plane was about 40 degrees. The ceiling of the plane was probably about 85, 90 degrees. So in the middle there, you tried to get comfortable. So I was told, I was told it was going to be cold. So I was prepared for cold. I had like Under Armour on and stuff like that. I was prepared for that. But I also had a blanket with me because I was prepared to put that over me. And what I quickly realized, because the floor was so cold, I actually needed that blanket under me. And I needed my jacket off. So like I've got a blanket under me to block the cold coming up.
Yeah.
But no top.
That's so wild to
I know,
me.
Just like an undershirt
Yes.
on to keep.
You know, the
Insulation.
science,
I think it's
Yeah.
called insulation.
yeah, the science part of your brain is like, that totally makes sense. But at the
Science.
same time, science.
There you go.
You don't anticipate that
Right.
at all.
No.
So like
What a
that's
cool
such a cool
experience.
experience
Yeah.
to hear about. Yeah.
I know it's
It was
a
amazing.
crazy one, but such
Yeah.
a cool one.
Two things. The first one,
Make
I did
me
not.
another mudslide.
I did not.
Yes.
I will. I did not over cinnamon this mudslide. The cinnamon
I
I,
feel
put
like it
in
was
here
good
actually
looking.
works really
I'm
well.
now at the bottom and I'm cinnamon challenging myself
He's like-
and I'm enjoying it.
Oh,
He's
it's
like,
great.
My blood vessels are broken, but
It's
I feel
absolutely
great.
great. The second thing I wanted to say is that I have immense amount of respect for the men and women of the armed services who fly on those planes on a consistent basis. The worst flying experience I ever had was Frontier Airlines when they ran out of snacks and alcohol. They were like, we're not going to serve you at 9:00 at night. That
Son
to
of a
me was
bitch.
a world-ending crisis.
Okay.
I was ready to take when I
First
was
world
like,
problems right
I
there.
want a beer. I'm going on vacation. They're like, we don't have any beer on board. It's 6:00 at night. And I was like, nope, this is unacceptable.
So when we got back and we landed, right, a customs agent came on the plane. I was like, do you guys have anything to claim? And we're like, of course not. Of course we all had bottles of booze. and
Yeah,
whatnot.
right?
Yeah, but you probably
of
didn't
course
have that.
not,
If that's
right?
what you're taking back, they don't
Right.
care
Do you
about
know
that.
who I am,
Yeah.
They
sir?
did. No. So I will say I was expecting this to have a lot more of a burn than it does.
It doesn't.
Well, my right leg
Just a
feels
tiny bit.
boozy.
It's got a tiny bit.
Matt's like,
He's got to
you
get the
need
left
another.
one.
I
Yeah,
need,
he's got
I
to
need
get the
another
left
one for the left leg.
Yeah.
My,
Should
my
I
right
feel
leg is
my
boozy
right
now.
arm? I don't feel my right arm.
It's
Is
your
it
left
okay?
arm that's
Well,
the
especially
problem.
Okay,
so.
good.
My liver is numb. I can't feel my liver.
as like,
Huh?
so we hung out with the Lithuanians about 6 years ago, and
I feel like we're all going to just hang out and tell all these stories.
sure, why
Which I
not?
want.
That's
We can keep the
that's
good
what-
stories in and cut
that's
the bad
what-
ones out.
I want
That is what. How
Brat.
did we get beer is about?
That's
I
right.
agree.
So when we hung out with the Lithuanians the first time, like our higher up specifically said, like, "Hey,
don't try.
don't try and
Yeah.
hang out with them.
You're gonna
Their
die.
booze are more are higher proof than ours. Don't try and hang with them." So obviously we did, but
Yep.
like
Yeah, but
the
like,
one time we were at the one hotel and I just had a bottle of bourbon. I'm a bourbon drinker. Right? I had a bottle of bourbon and all the Lithuanians were like, "Oh, we don't fuck with bourbon."
yeah, 'cause they drink clearer stuff. I mean, that's not clear for anyone that no one
Right.
can see that's listening.
Can I
but
have a
it's
little more
not
of
a
that?
Clear.
What's that?
Okay.
He wants more.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Please,
Have some Starka.
want some more.
Darka.
It was. It's got like a honey flavor to it.
Yeah,
Like
It has
does.
a little
It
bit
does.
of
Not bad at all.
sweetness.
It's good.
A little bit
It
of
is.
sweetness,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's nice. I like it. I mean, I don't know that I would drink a lot of it, but it's nice.
Yeah, it really was a type of
Yeah, like you were-
aperitif.
Well, digestif.
Digestif,
digestive.
yeah.
That's
Thank
the thing
you.
that
yes.
you would say.
Yes.
Because
yes.
aperitifs are for before.
And it had just a tiny bit of burn. That's why I said earlier. It burned just a little bit,
Just a little bit.
but not bad.
Yeah.
You don't feel it in your chest that much. It's not the Kentucky
One-
hug we've talked about
Right.
previously.
No, you don't get that warm fuzzy feeling.
No.
No.
You get a little bit, but it doesn't linger too long.
I still
no, I
feel
like it.
my palate
this
a little
is
bit.
a fancy store.
Yeah.
Just saying.
He's
He's
very
man
dignified.
the
has-
label.
He
Very
works at the
dignified.
Four Seasons.
Yeah.
He's a fancy guy.
All right, should we wrap this thing up?
Yes.
I think we
Guys.
yeah, the train is the steam's coming out. The
Yeah,
train's
we-
rolling into the station.
Yep.
So
Thank you all, like I said, for being
Well-
on this journey with us.
Yeah, let's thank- that's all right. You tried valiantly. No, but also thank all of you for bringing the phenomenal
was
drinks
fun.
and sharing the stories. This
Yeah.
is one of my favorite. This
good
is really
ones.
one of my favorite formats that we do.
For sure.
because It's just
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's so much good conversation that we can have.
yeah, absolutely. So thank you all.
Cheers.
I know you're all still here. Thank you all for listening.
Whatever. What's that Lithuanian cheers again?
It's Fakata.
All right, on to you guys.
On to you.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Yes.
This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
This episode's boozy quote comes from Billy Carter, younger brother of former President Jimmy Carter. He said, "There is no such thing as bad beer. It's that some taste better than others." On social media, please like, follow, and push all the buttons for us. That's Matt and Friends DTU at Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. For more information about the podcast, as well as links to our merch store, social media, and all the places you can listen to us, visit our website, mattandfriendsdtu.com. That's mattandfriendsdtu.com. Thank you again for listening to Matt and Friends Drink the Universe.